What business does the Chinese have in Africa? I mean, after all, Africa is a continent that has literally been victimized by every single nation on this earth. After all, it is the start of the cradle of civilization, and it's rich in resources, minerals and everything else. But I want to talk to you about something that is taking place in that country that you'll never ever see in mainstream news media. And I know a lot of you have been deceived by capitalism because you don't understand and know the history of it, and neither do you care. Not as long as it's benefiting you. Otherwise, that you don't care. If it doesn't benefit you, you don't care. But if it benefits you, then all of a sudden you care. Of course, that's the epitome of selfishness. Greed is something else because, when you only are centered and focused and your mind only centers and focuses so-called take care of you, you have a horrific end heading your way. And that is the truth. The Chinese allegedly gave Ghana $3 billion in a loan, allegedly. But they're operating outside of the scope of the money that was so-called quote-unquote lend to Ghana. And they have mines that are going up all over the country. Illegal mines, mind you. Illegal mines. And they're destroying the crops, the cocoa crops. They're destroying the farmlands, and they're destroying the drinking water of the masses of the people. The people are in utter poverty, and people are going to do whatever it takes in order to survive. And if gold wasn't so much of an interest, then why is it every time we turn around and we look around, all of a sudden we got gold dealers popped up all across this land? Now, not only do they want gold, now they want silver. This global economic downturn that we're experiencing as we sit and watch gold skyrocket. As a matter of fact, let me give you a couple of facts that I had somebody send me if I can find them real quick. Now listen to this. Listen to this. On this day, we're talking about this day right here, in the year 2000. Can you remember that? In the year 2000, listen to this. The U.S. national debt was $5.7 trillion on this day in 2000. Gold was selling at $272.65 an ounce. The Dow was at 11,313. And the amount of people that was on government subsidies or welfare was 17,200,000. That is the numbers this day in the year 2000. Now listen to the numbers today. On this day in 2013, the U.S. national debt is a whopping $6.8 trillion, and we're knocking hard on the door of 17, and we'll be there in a few months. And today, gold is $1,421.67. Now watch this. Watch this now. And the Dow, a whopping 15,013. And the amount of people on welfare, 47,800,000 people. Are you not shocked by these numbers? And you mean to tell me we can triple the national debt, double the national debt, and the Dow goes up another 4,000 points? And these are not crazy statistics. It's crazy. I'm going to include a video link down here to see what's going on and how Africa is being exploited. I mean, they're literally being victimized by all the countries who own right now all the resources and stuff. And if you notice, nobody wants dollars. Look what happened to Cyprus. They went and raided the people's accounts. And when they raided these accounts, they flat out told them straight up, listen to this. We don't want your euros. Give us the gold. Hugo Chavez, before he died, was one of the first people to make a move to gather all his resources, i.e. real money, back to his country. And now Germany, I don't know what they're going to do, because Germany told the United States that we want all of our gold out of your vaults. We want every single one. We want it all back. And the United States sat there and told them, I tell you what, we'll give it back to you in 7 years. Can you imagine going down to the bank, even if you had $500 in there, and they told you, we'll give it back to you over a period of 3 or 4 years? We're in a mess. We're in a mess. I mean, I'm telling you. If you're listening to the mainstream news media, and you're listening to these people now you have to understand, it's not in the best interest of these millionaires to tell you the truth. These billionaires tell you the truth because that's how they made their money. They didn't make, hey, listen to me. There's not one honest billionaire on the face of planet Earth. Not one of them. And a lot of people like Kennedy. President Kennedy. I mean, really, a lot of people like Kennedy as a president and stuff. But do you know how they made their riches? Bootlegging. They made their riches bootlegging. And when the government found out they couldn't compete against the bootleggers, they went ahead and legalized the alcohol. So why? So they could get a tax on it. So therefore now, hey, you can go ahead and bootleg all you want, as long as we get our cut. And that's what it's all about. Africans are getting hurt in these illegal mines. The Chinese don't care. The Chinese don't care. Remember, the United States of America said that people who have this color skin and darker, or all these different shades of color that come from over there in that land of Ham called Africa, they wrote in their constitution. This was their mindset way back then. In their constitution, I'm talking about all the founding fathers, George Washington, Thomas Jefferson, Benjamin Franklin, all these other people. They wrote down in the Constitution that black people are three-fifths humans. And of course, you're not going to see it today because, there's been a change of mind, allegedly. But the Jim Crow laws didn't stop until 1960, allegedly. There's much to be desired. And there's a lot that got to be learned, because I bring up all these facts to stimulate thought, because I know that they're not going to tell you the truth. I keep telling you, if I said it once, I said it 1,000 times, America, don't you think that the people who have exploited all these other people against their will and have literally enslaved them against their will, don't you think that they're after you? Because this is a battle of rich and poor. And when they get finished with it all, they're going to make you all indentured servants. Every single one of them. That's the reason why I continue to keep advocating self-sufficiency, self-preservation and stuff. Because look at this. The Chinese, they go over to Africa and they're mining up their farmland to where they can't even make a living for themselves. They could care less because they're after the gold. And then, not only that, when the people start defending themselves from the Chinese from tearing up their farmlands and making big gigantic moats that is filling up with water everywhere, the Chinese have guns on it and they begin to shoot the Africans that are there for defending their own farmland. What kind of mindset is this? What's going on? I mean, you mean to tell me that we are so insane today that we have literally lost our minds to think that people can't even defend themselves and their own home front because our greed is more powerful than morality? Yeah, these people got a right to defend their land. And guess what? All the way across the board, government corruption. So what if the Chinese shoot an African? They're three-fifths human. They don't mean nothing anyway. You know what they do? Because the Chinese got the money, if they get arrested or something like that, they go down to the local police station. They put a bunch of money in their face. The police turn a blind eye. They let them back out on the streets. And they're back at the mines again using excavators to tear up more of the Ghana's land. And so there's police corruption widespread all across the board. And I'm going to ask you a painful question again. I understand that we have civilization. And the only thing that civilization does is make things very easy and convenient for our flesh. Because, I mean, all a man's labor, everything he does is for food in his mouth, and you do it with your hands. And so we make things to make our labor easier. But you think about this. The United States of America, is this land better off since the Europeans came here, or is it worse? I mean, that is a viable question. Our streams are polluted. Our rivers are chemical induced and polluted. Even when you go through the municipal water supply, by the time they get finished putting all these chemicals and stuff in it, you got a serious chance of extracting E. coli or getting mercury, or you know, there's a lot of things that the filtration process cannot take out in the municipal water supply that is being peed and urinated and everything else defecated into the water supply that ends up in your body, ultimately taking host up in your organs, and then you wonder why you got cancers, arthritis, and all this other stuff. And you can't expect anybody who's been trained, coerced, manipulated, and deceived by the system to understand one word that I'm saying, because truth is parasitic in the land. People hate the truth because when the truth comes, the one thing that the truth does, it hits that hard and it grinds down in there. And if you are a liar, you're going to defend yourself against that truth, because that truth demands a change. And if you don't want to change, you're going to put up a wall, you're going to put up a barrier, you're going to ignore all of that because the truth doesn't benefit your present day lifestyle. It's a mess. It's utterly a mess. I found peace in life by helping others. Yeah, real true peace. Because see, then the center and attention and focus is off of you. Because let's just tell the truth. All of us as human beings are inherently selfish. And it takes some time for you to learn what nature you have to deal with. And if we can follow righteous principles and actually help our brothers and sisters, our neighbors next to us and stuff, it'll take all that worry and all that anxiety and focus that we have on us, it'll start being put on somebody else. And if everybody had that attitude, do you know what kind of world this would be? But we got people that want to exploit us and continue to keep us in bondage. They don't want us to experience liberty and freedom. I found out that true liberty and freedom is in the service that I do to others, and that's just all there is to it. But hey, if a Chinese man, they're coming in there to 10,000 Chinese workers a year are appearing in Africa in illegal mines to get gold. Wonder why come they're not mining for U.S. dollars or euros or Federal Reserve notes or the ruby and the yen? Why come they're not going there to mine for all this stuff? Why are these people going down there to mine for gold? Why don't they just go and mine for paper dollars? I mean, after all, it's backed up by the good old benevolent word of the United States of America. Pastor God, why do you always talk about economics? Because whether you like it or not, money solves and answers all things. And you need it depending on whether you claim that money to be as far as a medium of exchange in order to preserve your living, your livelihood, in order for you to buy and purchase things, goods, and services that you need. Money to me is when I get my hands out there in that garden. Sure, I have to use the system for it. I have to use it. Well, my job is to get totally self-sufficient from the system. But when I get out there in that garden, I put my hands to the plow, like the saints and most I do, and we grow our own food. You know, just the other day, we butchered 2-3 cows. And I sit down. I shake my head. I eat the meat. I shake my... See, I know what's in our cows. Our cows are grass-fed. I know what's in them. And when I eat the meat from our cows and our chickens that we raise here personally, and mind you, I used to be in debt up to my eyeballs. I used to live in the city. I used to do all the things that you do. My wife used to work for Regions Bank. She was the ATM coordinator for the whole entire Mid-South. Sister Carol was. And so don't tell me that we don't know about living out there. Don't tell me we don't know and we're out of touch for living the way that many people choose to live that way. And if you choose to live that way, don't bellyache. Don't moan, bawl, gripe, and complain. But we chose to actually seek for the old paths and come back for the old ways. And not only us, but the saint, a few of the saints of the Most High. We've been out there, and you ain't gonna get us back out there for nothing. Sure, I sweat. You know, that thing, you know, water that comes from your body and stuff that falls down your brow and stuff. I sweat almost on a daily basis other than the Shabbat, the Sabbath. And I found, hey, that when we're out here and we have bend our will to do things the right way and stuff, we're not on prescription drugs. We're not on prescription drugs. We're very healthy people, believe it or not. And our minds are so much at peace. As a matter of fact, we're in a position to try to help you, to help others. That's the sole reason why I'm here, is to help you. I told you earlier in this video that, you know, I found peace within the heart of my heart. I know that there's deception lined in the heart of man. I know that people have suspicious spirits and attitudes, and I know people would rather hold something in their hand because they call that security rather than obeying the principles of the book. But I choose to obey the principles of the book, so therefore, guess what? By obeying those principles of the book, I've been able to help many people, and I keep a peace of mind. I sure do. My wife keeps a peace of mind. We really, truly do. And once you had a real taste of peace, a real true taste of peace, you don't want to go back to that mess out there, that hustle and bustle, what they call the world. But our streams are polluted, our waters are polluted, the springs are polluted, the wells are polluted, all because of the exploitation of this country right here for money, greed. And so the land here in America is not better off. So now the Africans over there, you have the same police force we got over here, accepting bribes. I mean, I just got a news source that now the Supreme Court 5-4 and Scalia jumps ship. 5-4, and here is the impact of the police state. That if you get pulled over, it's been passed by the Supreme Court of this land that the police have the right now to take a Q-tip or a swab and swab your mouth and put your DNA in a national database. And you mean to tell me that we're not quickly moving towards a one world government, a one world order? You quickly telling me we're not moving to the mark of the beast? Yeah, go ahead and keep your head stuck in the sand and stuff. While the movers and shakers know exactly what they're doing, the people are being deceived on the masses because they fool you through entertainment. You know, they feed and line their back pockets. You feed your lust. And both of you are so-called getting what you think that you want to get. And you're going to get it, all right. You're going to pay for it in the end. But I tell you what, I hope that whatever mindset that you're functioning in, that it works for you. I really, truly do. Because if you're wrong, you're going to spend a long time paying for it.